In this slide, we're going to discuss fallacies of presumption. We have 6 types of fallacies of presumption. Now, before we discuss that, we have to determine first the meaning of presumption. Now, presumption or presuming is different from assuming. Now, when we say to presume, its meaning is to suppose something with some probability or evidence. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong piece of evidence to support our claim, pero it's still insufficient. Whereas if we're going to compare that with assume or to assume, it is to suppose without reason or evidence. Ibig sabihin, wala tayong ebidensya in support with our initial claim. Compared again with presumption or to presume, we have a probability, merong chance sa pwedeng maging totoo, the truth, pero the evidence that we're having is insufficient. Alright, we have 6 types of presumption or fallacies of presumption, and these are PETITIO PRINCIPII. Again, PETITIO PRINCIPII is a Latin word which means begging the question. Next is complex question, false dichotomy, suppressed evidence, accent or prosody, and then word construction. Punta tayo sa begging the question. Begging the question or PETITIO PRINCIPII, ang keyword that we're going to use here is it's a fallacy that doesn't prove anything. Hindi siya nagpapatunay ng kahit ano kasi you're just reasoning in circles. Paikot-ikot lang, sabi ni Sarah dito. Example, all criminals are immoral. Therefore, all criminals are not moral. So, asan dito yung reasoning in circles? The problem that we're discussing here is criminals being immoral. So, if they are immoral, it has to imply something. You have to state the supporting reason or supporting evidence why you've mentioned that criminals are immoral. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan may rationale, may underlying reason kung bakit ang mga criminals ay immoral. Pero yung sagot mo, nanggaling lang din dito sa word na immoral. So, therefore, all criminals are not moral. So, not moral and then immoral are just the same. That's why you're just reasoning in circles. That's why you have to beg the question again. Bakit siya not moral? Kasi criminals are immoral. Bakit siya immoral? Kasi criminals are not moral. Bakit siya not moral? Kasi criminals are immoral. So, paikot-ikot lang tayo. So, you are still begging the question and you are requesting for the source of your statement. That's why it's called PETITIO PRINCIPII. Kasi after stating the claim and then after stating your supporting evidence, you're still asking for further clarification or question. Okay? Why are you here? Because I'm not there. Why are you here? Because I'm not there. Why are you not there? Because I am here. So, paikot-ikot lang yan. All survivors are strong because only the strong survive. Why are they strong survive? Because only survivors are strong. Paikot-ikot lang. Sleeping pills work because they cause people go to sleep. Why do they cause people to go to sleep? Because sleeping pills work. Ayun yung sleeping pills work, tapos they cause people to go to sleep. So again, ang keyword that we have to remember under PETITIO PRINCIPII is it's a fallacy. It's a fallacy which reasons in circles. Paikot-ikot, begging the question. It doesn't prove anything. Another example, you use the phrase begs the question in an improper manner. Begging the question, Latin PETITIO PRINCIPII, is a form of logical fallacy in which an argument is assumed to be true without evidence other than the argument itself. It does not mean to raise the question. That's why andun yung salitang begging the question. Next tayo is complex question. Again, for PETITIO PRINCIPII, ang tatandaan natin si Sarah Geronimo, yung reasoning in circles, paikot-ikot lang. Complex question. Ang clue natin for a complex question is, number one, it's a question. But the question intends to trap the listener to the point that the listener would acknowledge something that he or she might otherwise not want to acknowledge. Ibig sabihin, magbibigay ako ng question to trap the listener to the point that if the listener will answer that, it implies acknowledgement of the action. Okay, so ibig sabihin, pag sinagot mo yan, ibig sabihin nun, posibleng ginawa mo yan. That's why yung question na ginawa ko is trapping you to acknowledge the action in which in reality hindi mo naman talaga ginawa. Okay? Example, have you stopped cheating your girlfriend? Lagyan natin ng sagot to. So if I say no, ibig sabihin I am still cheating my girlfriend. If I say yes, I've stopped cheating my girlfriend, ibig sabihin previously or prior to your question, I've been cheating my girlfriend. So ibig sabihin wala akong kawala. Either no or yes, wala akong kawala. I'm still cheating my girlfriend. Where did you hide the cookies you stole? Ito yung photo ata sa cheating. Now, where did you hide the cookies you stole? Ibig sabihin nito, either you answer this or not, the question implies that you are stealing the cookies. So, sabi dito, it's still a trap. Again, ang keyword that we have to remember under complex question is it's a question. Number one, it's a question to trap the listener. Okay, example natin dito is this image, pwede rin. Again, ang keyword for complex question is to trap the respondent, the one who responds. Hello, are you tired? No, I'm not. Really? You're lying. Ibig sabihin, the one who questions, the one who poses the question, would want the respondent to acknowledge the question that was posed. Ibig sabihin, pag tinanong ng arguer that are you tired, you have to the question implies that you have to acknowledge that you are actually tired. Complex question is like this one. The arguer attempts to trap the listener or the respondent, and then the respondent responds. Yung pag-respond ng listener or respondent is the complete argument for the complex question. Now, yung pagsagot ng respondent dito is in relation dun sa question na binigay ng arguer. Okay, so ibig sabihin, parang ganito yan. Pag ang isang lalaki, halimbawa, nagtanong sa isang babae na trip niya, tapos tinanong ng lalaki na kung nag-uusap sila, tapos sinabi niya na baka magalit yung boyfriend mo, ibig sabihin nun, yung lalaki is trapping you to acknowledge, is trapping you to see whether you have a boyfriend or none. So that's a complex question. Baka magalit yung boyfriend mo, ibig sabihin nun, yung arguer would want to check if you actually have a boyfriend or none. That's complex question. That's another example for complex question. Next tayo is false dichotomy. Now, before we go to false dichotomy, we have to check first this abstract term which means dichotomy. Pag sinabi nating dichotomy, it's a duality. Ibig sabihin nun, we're going to split a specific variable. For instance, nagkakaroon ng separation. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng dichotomy. So if we're going to separate to a specific variable, we have ang number one indicator natin that we're using false dichotomy is the word either. So it's either you're going to use this one or this one. If you're going to use this one, ibig sabihin nun, you're not going to use this one. So we separated two variables by using the word either or. So false dichotomy presumes that an either or statement presents mutually exhaustive alternatives. Now, when we say exhaustive alternatives, ito lang yung pinapakitang option ng arguer to the respondent. Okay, you don't have, that's why the third alternative or third option is not possible. You have to choose only option A or option B. Again, the fallacy introduces the word either or. You don't have any choice but to choose either A or B. Option C is not possible. Okay, let's check an example under false dichotomy. Either you attend my class, okay, that's option A, or I'll be miserable for the rest of my life. Dalawa, attend ka ng klase ko, or I'll be miserable like this guy for the rest of my life. I know you don't want me to be miserable for the rest of my life, so it follows that you'll attend my class. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kung hindi ka a-attend ng klase ko, gusto mong maging miserable yung buhay ko. So wala kang ibang choice kundi umattend ng klase ko kasi ayaw mo maging miserable yung buhay ko. So again, in this fallacy, I'm just presenting two possible options. Wala na akong ibang option. So, pwedeng mag-introduce siya ng word na either or. Either you buy me a new laptop or I may not get the grade that you want me to achieve. Ibig sabihin, kung gusto mo makuha yung grade na gusto mo sa akin, for instance, I'm talking to my parent, if you want the grade, if you want me to obtain the grade that you wanted for me, ibig sabihin, you have to give me a laptop. So, ang option lang is, most likely is to give you the laptop. Kasi if you won't give me the laptop, I won't be able to achieve the grade that you wanted me to achieve. So, dito makikita natin sa fallacy, again, that we only have two options. Either magbibigay ka ng laptop or hindi. Kung hindi ka magbibigay ng laptop, hindi mo makukuha yung grade. So, wala kang choice but to give the laptop para makuha yung effect na grade. Okay? So, ito, a-attend ka ng class o hindi. Ito lang yung option mo. A-attend ka ng class o hindi. Kasi kung hindi ka attend ng class, magiging miserable ka. So, the fallacy presents a possible effect if you will not choose the option being presented to the respondent. So, this is false dichotomy. You don't have any choice, P or Q. False dilemma. If you will not choose P, ibig sabihin, you have to choose letter Q. So, again, dalawa lang po yung pinapakitang options under dichotomy. Dichotomy means separation or duality. Dalawa lang ang options. Suppress evidence tayo. Now, for suppress evidence, ang keyword here is the evidence being presented to you which is consistent from the past experiences. So, ibig sabihin, meron akong mga ebidensya from my past experience na nagpapatunay na yung experience na yun is reliable. And it is still applicable and reliable for my future events or for your future or subsequent experiences. Ibig sabihin, hindi ko na kailangang patunayan pa na yung next possible future event is already reliable kasi reliable na siya from my past experiences. So it presumes that no important evidence has been overlooked by the premises when in fact it has. Yung presumption here is the consistency of the past experiences. So yung past experience mo which is already reliable, nag-presume ka na it is also reliable for future events. Okay, so again, tingnan natin yung past tapos yung future. Sinusuppress mo yung evidence ng alin? Sinusuppress mo yung evidence na na-experience mo from the past. Okay, tingnan natin. Most dogs are friendly and pose no threat to people who pet them. So again, most dogs are friendly. This is based from my past experience. They pose no threat. Therefore, it would be safe to pet the little dog that is approaching us now. Now, what if the little dog looks like this one? Bumubula pa yung bunganga. Does that mean that it doesn't pose any threat? Kasi nag-assume ka from your past experiences. Most dogs are friendly. Nag-presume that it would be safe to pet the little dog that is approaching us now. So, the little dog that's approaching you now, this pertains to the present or the future. Kasi napatunayan mo that most dogs that you've pet before are friendly. Yung before doon, yung past. So, yung reliability ng past must also be reliable sa present and then sa future. Now, next tayo. During the past 4 years, andun yung past, Miriam has enjoyed being a student. Therefore, Miriam will probably enjoy being a student for the next 50 years. Yung next 50 years dito pertains to your future. Dahil napatunayan natin with our past experience that Miriam has enjoyed being a student during the past 4 years. So does that mean that Miriam will also enjoy going to school or being a student for the next 50 years? Now, if you do that, you're committing suppressed evidence. So the suppressed evidence illustration would look like this. You have your premise, ignores stronger evidence to support different conclusion, and then you conclude. So yung premises natin dito, it pertains from the past. Tapos yung conclusion natin dito is all about the present and then the future. So you're suppressing the evidence here that it is also reliable dun sa future. That's suppressed evidence. Next tayo is accent or prosody. Now, the accent is prosody is all about how you pronounce a certain word. Okay, so it becomes a fallacy if you mispronounce the accent. Okay, the accent of the certain word from a false emphasis in speech. A change in a stress, yung ibig sabihin yung accent. Pag nagkamali ka ng stress ng word here, it would spell a change in meaning. So, a desert or a dessert is a course of fruit served after the meal. Ano ang tama? Is it dessert or desert? But a desert is a forsaken region. So we have almost similar spelling here of a desert or a dessert. So pag nagsabi kang dessert, are you pertaining about the sweet or are you pertaining about the sand? Dessert. A dessert is a course of fruit served after the meal, but a desert is a forsaken region. Did I pronounce it correct? Now, if I mispronounce it correct, ibig sabihin, pwede kong mapalitan yung dalawa. Pag napalitan ko yung dalawa, for the respondent might misinterpret the meaning behind my accent. Okay, so ibig sabihin, I might be committing a fallacy of prosody or accent or accent. So next, recycle clothes and waste paper. Now in this particular statement, alin dito yung nag-i-impose ng prosody or accent? In this case, it's waste. Okay, waste and the word waste paper. Recycle clothes and waste paper and recycle clothes and waste paper. So did I pronounce it correctly? Now when I say waste paper here, ibig sabihin nito, nagiging verb siya. Ibig sabihin ng verb here as the waste, sasayangin mo yung papel. Okay, that's the meaning of the waste paper. Now if you're going to include paper and waste as one, you're pertaining about the tissue paper. So recycle clothes, dapat it would conform to the consistency being stated ng recycle clothes. So kung may recycling tayo dito, ibig sabihin nito, you have to recycle clothes and then the waste paper. Ang nire-recycle natin dito is the tissue. Kasi if you're going to consider waste here as pagsasayang ng papel, it would contradict dun sa meaning ng recycling clothes. Example tayo. Example ng accent or prosody survey test. Now, kung hindi mo ito ma-pronounce ng tama, you might be committing a fallacy of prosody. So, survey test is sa Tagalog ng ice cream. Followed, sinasabi mo sa tindera pag wala ng laman ang cellphone mo. Due care, mahigpit na kalaban ni Batman. Atras, salungat ng abante. Secret, bagay na di mo dapat sabihin sa iba. Check-in, English ng manok. Korean tea, ito yung nawawala pag brown out. The value, kasunod ng letrang V. So if you mispronounce the mentioned words from 1 to 8, ibig sabihin nun, you might be committing the fallacy of prosody or accent. Fallacy of word construction. Now, for the fallacy of word construction, ang titingnan natin dito is the similarity. Meron tayo, ang keyword natin here is the pattern. Okay, may pattern of two words that we presume that it is also similar on the next words. Okay, may pattern tayo, may similarity of meaning, and then we presume that it is also applicable on the next premise. Okay, alin dito yung similarity or pattern? Now, we have pattern here. When we say immortal, it means not mortal. So, ibig sabihin, kinuha natin yung pinaka-base word ng mortal dun mismo sa word na immortal. Now, when we say immodest, it means not being modest. Now, if you follow these two patterns, if you follow these two similarity of meanings in the construction of words, we might be committing a fallacy if we apply it in the word imprinted. Kasi ang imprinted has the two letters ng im tsaka im. Tapos nandun yung base word na print. So if we say imprinted means not printed, it is exactly opposite ng word ng imprint. So in this case, we might be committing a fallacy. Kasi sinunod natin yung pattern dito, yung dalawa. Another example, the plural of mouse is mice. Yan, same yung example, O-U-S-E. O-U-S-E. So the plural of mouse is mice, the plural of louse is lice. Are you saying that the plural of house, O-U-S-E, is ice? Kasi sinunod natin yung lice, sinunod natin yung mice. So if you presume to be to have the same pattern or similarity, pag nag-presume ka na ganun yung example mo, ganun yung sagot mo, you're committing the fallacy of word construction. So yung construction dito natin might be an indicator. May construction dun sa word. Anong construction dun? Yung similarity and pattern of words. Tapos ina-apply natin siya. We presume that the next premise would apply the same construction. Okay, anong construction yun? Ito yung construction na nakikita natin from the preceding premises. Right? That's word construction. So let's have a review for the fallacies of presumption. For the fallacies of presumption, we have begging the question. Begging the question or PETITIO PRINCIPII. Keyword natin dito si Sarah. Reasoning in circles kasi paikot-ikot lang yung reasoning mo. Complex question. For complex question, ang keyword natin dito is to trap. Ito, circle. False dichotomy. Nagbibigay ka lang ng dalawang options. Wala nang ibang third option. Suppressed evidence. Ibig sabihin ng suppressed evidence, yung reliability of your past experience is applicable dun sa present and future experience mo. Okay? Accent or prosody, yung pag-dictate ng tamang word. If you mispronounce a specific word, the respondent might have a misinterpretation of your intended meaning. Word construction is yung construction and then yung pattern of words. Ito natin. PETITIO PRINCIPII, reasoning in circles. Complex question, you intend to trap. False dichotomy, you only have two options. Suppress evidence, reliability of the past is also can also be you can also rely on that reliability with your present and future experience. Accent is the dictate of your word or of a specific word, magkakaroon ng misinterpretation. And then the word construction is yung pattern of the word na na-construct. Right? That's for your fallacy of presumption. Next is fallacy of language and then ambiguity.